and read up on that, you would observe that it's more comprehensive and it entails a wider range of groups, not just Boko Haram, not just bandits. Okay, because I mean, for the longest of time, these are the two groups. Then maybe once in a while you get to hear the likes of Lakurawa, float up and then they just disappear again. And then what's the other one too that was talked about some years back too, just once in a while. But for the most times, okay, and then you also had the issue of designating of IPOB as terrorists too during the last administration. So I think those are the three major here, okay? And I'm being very deliberate with my choice of words. Three major categorization or categories of people that were gazetted as terrorists in Nigeria in the last administration. But President Bola Tinubu, I think what he has done differently is not just redesignating it, but also, like I said, making a comprehensive list of who are those who would be looked upon as terrorists, who would be considered terrorists. And it will interest you to know that there is a wide range of people. So I'll read out, or I'll just, call out those categories of people that this administration has redesignated, so that at least and will appropriately address them as such, and also expect that the government takes a decisive stand on these groups. Okay? So he has formally redesignated bandits, Fulani militias, violent cults, and other armed non-state actors as terrorists under a new national counter-terrorism doctrine. A move that has sparked debate and criticisms from various quarters. If you go on social media, you see all the arguments or the debate for and against. The announcement was made during the presentation of the 2026 appropriation bill. By the way, that's a topic on its own where we'd take our time to examine. So many people have said, well, the 2025 budget has not really been exhausted in the full sense of the word. And so the presentation of this one makes it a bit dicey, right? So we will take our time and get the experts to get to help us understand how this whole thing. I mean, because I know also one thing that the Buhari administration did was try to regularize the budget, the Nigerian budget, so that it starts from the January of each year and end by the December. I know that's one thing the last administration did to ensure that we do not have a spillover. Prior to the Buhari administration, you find that the previous year is still running. I think it was even up to September, or if I'm not mistaken, it just spills into the year, into a certain month. And so it was becoming a big problem for us before the regularization. And we saw that work through up until, of course, it came to the 2025 budget. So many people have their theories as to why that was not passed, in good time. Speaking about the 2027 election and corrupt acts and so many other allegations here and there. But that's not the topic. But back to what we're saying, the recategorization or redesignation of groups into terrorists. The president did so during the presentation of the 2026 appropriation bill to the National Assembly, which was just some few days back, 19th. That's, I think, on Friday. And it marks a significant shift in Nigeria's security policy, classifying all armed groups operating outside state authority as terrorist threats. Okay? Now, while the government asserts this holistic redesign aims to improve coordination and effectiveness in combating violence, critics and analysts are questioning the accuracy of attributing recent kidnappings to jihadist groups like Boko Haram or its splinter group known as Swat, arguing instead that bandits driven by land disputes and criminal motives are the primary perpetrators in the Northwest. Okay, that's one of the arguments. Now, the new doctrine expands the definition of terrorists to include bandits, militias, armed gangs, forest-based criminal groups, foreign-linked mercenaries, and those acting for political, ethnic, financial, and or sectarian purposes or ends. Okay. Now, let me read the wide category of those who would by the reason of this redesignation will be considered terrorists, and you'll be shocked. Okay, I have them here. I think we have up to even 31. Now, listen. Number one, any armed group operating outside the authority of the Nigerian state. So if you carry arms and you are not recognized whether by the state government or the federal government, but you think you can arm yourself and operate outside any authority, then you're a terrorist. And that's just the truth. So you might find people who call themselves a certain name. They are not recognized by state. They are not being licensed. They are not being authorized to operate as such. Maybe wearing uniforms or just operating in a certain way that is outside the authority of the state. You are a terrorist group. Then you also have any individual wielding lethal weapons without state authorization. Now, remember that there is a space in the Nigerian laws, okay, especially when you go to whether police, DSS, and the relevant authorities. You can be licensed as an individual to carry an arm. But in the case where you carry such an arm, I don't know how people get around or get across to owning arms without taking authority or going through the legal means of getting licenses, because there is a space for that in Nigeria. So if you own an arm and you own a firearm and you're not licensed, just know that once you're caught, you are going to be looked upon as a terrorist. Okay, so whether you are a group operating outside the authority of the Nigerian state or you're an individual that is wielding a lethal weapon, it doesn't matter what the name of that weapon is, as long as it's with a lethal and is able to kill, and it is considered so by Nigerian state, then you are considered a terrorist. Okay, and those who will be treated as terrorists include bandits carrying arms and terrorizing communities. Those ones we know already. Okay, then militias operating beyond lawful command. You have so many of those militias. Like I was saying, Lakurawa, in fact, they came under the guise of they are also militias. They are fighting for this. You have some people who are in the creeks who are operating, carrying arms, destroying states, facilities, terrorizing communities within their scope of operation. So they are operating without lawful command. Okay. Such would also be considered as terrorists. Then you also or will be treated as terrorists. Then you also have armed gangs and criminal networks with weapons. I think that's very self-explanatory. We have lots of them around. Armed robbers who deploy violence would also be considered as such. Violent cult groups, forest-based armed collectives, those who are staying in the forest and they are collecting arms, are also considered and treated as terrorists, or will be treated as terrorists. Then you also have foreign linked mercenaries. Okay, any mercenary that is in the country that is foreign linked. I mean, there's a space where countries agree with each other, and then you have mercenaries in the country. But I guess this sort of mercenaries who come in through borders, sneak into a country and are operating, then you should also be ready to be treated as a terrorist when caught. Individuals or groups using violence for political objectives. So you see all these political thugs who use violence, who go around with arms. Those guys, they are also terrorists, at least by the context of what we have. Okay, if you are into political violence, you are one of those people during election year, you are fond of terrorizing people, you're wielding some sort of terror and violence just to attain some political objectives, just know that you are part of the terrorists. Then individuals or groups using violence for ethnic objectives is also part of it. I think that also resonates with when IPOB was categorized as terrorists back in the day. Individuals or groups using violence for financial objectives. So it doesn't matter whether it is for ethnic, political, or financial objectives. These guys would all be looked upon as terrorists. Then individuals or groups using violence for sectarian objectives. Kidnappers of civilians, people who kidnap civilians, groups or individuals extorting communities. Those who take taxes and all of that, those are terrorists too. Groups or individuals occupying or attempting to occupy Nigerian territory by force. Those who enable terrorism would also be treated as terrorists. And those include financiers of armed groups. Whoever those set of people are considered as terrorists. So financiers of armed groups, okay, money handlers and fund movers, harborers of terrorists, informants aiding violent groups, ransom facilitators, ransom negotiators, political protectors of armed groups, political intermediaries shielding terrorists, transporters of fighters or weapons, arms suppliers, safe house owners, politicians who facilitate or encourage violence, traditional rulers who enable or protect terror, community leaders who facilitate violent actions, and religious leaders who encourage or justify terror. The rule is singular and absolute. Okay, outside state authority with lethal weapons equals terrorism. Supporting in any form also equals terrorism. I hope we do get this. So if you're operating and you are thinking you're a lord in your own terrain and you're terrorizing people up and down, you're doing it for sectarian, tribal, financial, political, whatever reason, just know that you are a terrorist. And if you are part of those who are protecting, supplying, negotiating, even being in the position of a traditional ruler, and you enable or protect terror groups and you are found culpable and all, these are the categories of people, right? So the president actually emphasized that the move is part of a holistic redesign of Nigeria's security framework. And despite the government's stance, some analysts such as Bulama Bukhari dispute the claim that jihadist groups are behind recent kidnappings, stating that there is no evidence of Boko Haram or ISWAP presence in the northwest and that violence is primarily driven by bandits. So, I mean, I think this categorization is broad enough for people to understand. The redesignation has also drawn criticism from former President Olusegun Obasanjo, whose aide Sunday Dare accused him of hypocrisy for condemning the current administration's security efforts while having failed to act decisively against Boko Haram's early rise during his own presidency and administration. Let's take this commercial and come back and start.
GIG Logistics, wetin dey sup this Christmas?
This festive season, no just a package anyhow. Whether na customer items or gifts for your people inside Nigeria, GIG Logistics, they're ready to help you deliver sharp and right on time. You dey shop from UK, USA, China, Canada, or Ghana come Nigeria.
Hi everyone, my name is Swat. That's the name my father gave me, but you can always call me Her Vocal Majesty. I'm the host of The Sunny Side on 95.1 Nigeria Info. It takes place every weekday, noon to 3 p.m., where we get to have all the lovely contemporary conversations. If your days are normally long and gloomy, well, not anymore, because I'm here to make it all bright and sunny for you. So join me. It's an invitation. You don't want to miss out.
act, to those who sponsor the act, to those who actually, do other acts, protect and operate outside state authority. And they have been categorized as terrorists. Okay, those who enable terrorism and would also be treated as terrorists, and so on and so forth. Those who declare terrorists, those who do acts of terrorism in their own way through different means are terrorists. So it's quite wide. Okay, and that's it. That would also enable the government, I guess, in their own wisdom, to fight terrorism from a holistic point of view, so that when an armed robber is caught and is given the terrorist treatment, then he should know, okay, by release of this, he should know right now if there's any armed group that is operating. Maybe their own is not to kidnap people, they just stop people and collect their property or enter into houses, as in the case of that lady that some me of Arise TV, where a group of armed robbers were going apartment by apartment, and robbing people of their properties in their apartment. That is also now considered as terrorism, okay? Or if you're fighting a tribal war through violence or sectarian crisis, you're causing violence, you're considered a terrorist too. So that's the wide range of people, or the wide range of people carrying out different acts of violence, kidnapping, and so on and so forth, that are now considered to be terrorists under this administration. So having said that, let's begin this conversation, right? Let's begin this conversation and know what you think about this wide categorization, expansion of the category of terrorists in Nigeria, those who will be treated as terrorists in Nigeria. I mean, what do you think of this comprehensive list that has been released, or is said to be what the government views as terrorists? So many people have praised this and said it's a great effort on the side of the government to make it all encompassing, so that people would know that you cannot just operate, even during politics, and hide under the guise of we are just trying to protect blah blah. No, because the moment you're caught, you'll be treated as one, right? So do you think this is a great idea on the side of this government? If you have your own criticisms also, what are some of the loopholes you might just want to put on this? Let's hear from you. 0700 951 0000 and 08095974869. WhatsApp is 08099930137. Hello.
Hello, Swat. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Yeah, my name is Chim. They are calling from Central area at the moment.
Okay, welcome.
Well, a beautiful attempt by the government, but I hope they are not going to make this word terrorists appear too trivial. I mean, the spread is just too much. I know they are trying to assist government to be able to tackle it head on. And if I heard you right, you said carrying lethal weapon. So we're not talking of just gun now.
Mm-hmm.
So all these our brothers that carry daggers on their waist.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are little weapons now.
Yes.
So hence what they're called terrorists with this designation. And I hope the security operatives are listening, because I understand if you have issues or altercation with them, the police will simply tell you you can't disarm them because it's part of their culture to wear daggers on their waist. I've heard so many police officers say that. So with this, I think they should be educated properly. The Mebaros, the keke riders that carry daggers on their waist, henceforth, let them be educated in the local language to know that if they are caught with it, they'll be treated as terrorists. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Chima, that it is a responsibility of this government to let people know, right? Because this group has been widened to include lots and lots of people, which I think is very good. But then, unless these people know, because for the longest of time they've carried on and no one ever even blinks an eye. Who was giving us a story recently of a neighbor who took a bike and got engaged in a fight. I don't know whether it's about the change, and the guy left angrily and later on returned back with a group of other boys, like him, came, and then they now located the guy who had an altercation with the bike guy. He was just hanging around somewhere, and they came and asked him and, stabbed him so many times and just ran away. So, what do you say about people like that? They are now terrorists, right? So, unless they know, they would continue acting like that and feel they can just get away with it. So, I think it is in the duty, or should be within the purview of the government to also ensure, working alongside NOA, we will do our own bit to just keep talking about these things so that people will get to know. Look, if you operate within a certain level without caution, just know that you are a terrorist and you will be treated as such when caught. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
You're welcome.
My name is Ajola Victor from Busalaji.
Okay.
Now that we have known the terrorists, I think all hands must be on deck now to go after them. And those who should be killed or must be killed by our military. We have a professional military, a military that is capable of winning this war. So we need the political will from the government and from all Nigerians to support government to win this war against these non-state actors who want to bring down this country. I also call them coup plotters because they are trying to bring down this government. You see a situation whereby the non-state actors are claiming territory. Government within government. It's an insult for non-state actors to be claiming territory and be collecting taxes from Nigerians where we have a government. No. This is very sad. We should not give them any space again. There are many. That's why we have congested prisons already. So that's why I've already said it already the other time. We need more prisons. Those who should go to jail for life, we should send them to jail for life when they are their sponsors, especially their sponsors. Government know them. They have the list. During the Buhari regime, the list has been in place. So let them release the name of the sponsors. Because you have to cut the chain of supply. You have to get them. When we get them, then we now get the other people. So we cannot continue to negotiate with terrorists. People who don't have mercy. People who shed blood every day. It's an insult when you negotiate with murderers who don't have mercy, who kidnap young children, traumatize them. And some people go and negotiate with them. And we continue to celebrate them. No, enough is enough. We should be hard on them now and send them to untimely grave. And those who should be and those who should go to jail for life must go to jail for life. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Yes, let's come back to the WhatsApp call. Hello.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Welcome.
I'm feeling you, Mrs. Someza calling. So
Thank
I
you,
like
Mrs. Someza.
the way you say things without missing words. And I remember before election, when you interview one, is now a minister, I always go back to the village. You were straight and on point. Thank you.
Thank you.
The very caller before our Egbonda spoke my mind. Yes, we are talking of Boko Haram, those ones that we know that once they are carrying arms, they don't hide it. But you domesticate it by bringing it home. And let us actually tackle it. The only group that are not armed are we that don't know what's going on. You see the big men, they practically pleaded with Mr. President to please reconsider his stance on withdrawing their police. Why? Because in the north, some youth made it clear that any of their representative that is coming and he did not perform, they would beat him.
We saw that happen to one Zamfara.
Yes.
There was this Zamfara state local.
They beat him in the hospital. I'm sorry, I'm on air. Sorry. They will beat him. Yes. So, they practically pleaded with Mr. President. That is one. Secondly, another group that carry arms are those ones know the importance of carrying arms. You see these people that carry cow around. Their arm could just be light weapon like knife or stick. They are not carrying it because of human being, no. Maybe because of anything they will encounter in the bush. Then you see Babambola and others. But you that you are driving your small car like this and me, we are the ones that don't carry arms. And that is why a small boy like this will come to you and say, give me your car key. That thing happened to my husband. It's not story. He looked at this guy. This is somebody that he knows where, because he was carrying tools. He gave him. And that was when I came on air. And thank you to Nigeria Info. I said it that if you are a man and you don't have something in your car and at home, now you sabi, and you know say more than, because you look at these people, they carry arms. If you raise their trouser, they put it on the waist before. But now, if you raise their trouser, you see that they tie knife. That knife, they apply poison amount of the knife. It will be there. So when you do anything, it's not like some of them have strength to fight you. They will bring out the knife. And that is why Babambola will resume work 4 a.m. in Abuja. Nobody can talk to you. You will be in your house seeing them losing your gas cylinder. Come out and see what they will do to you. So, as we are grouping terrorists, we should also talk about proliferation of light weapon in the country. If you want people to carry weapon, legalize it. And I'm for legalizing carrying weapon. I'm telling you the truth. Because before you finish me, even if it's pepper spray, I'll put it in your eye. Before you do like this, your eye go need. But no, we are not empowered. We now empower the low ones and the high ones. Then we are the ones in the middle, just looking like this, koro. Somebody will be taking life away from you. You cannot do anything. Remember the statement by Awolowo said, it's only a fool that will argue with a man that is carrying a gun. How do you argue with him? You cannot. So let us legalize it. Then secondly, our traditional rulers and religious rulers, what are they doing? The institution that you are saying they should sensitize the Babambola and the rest not to carry, they listen to them. Most times they listen to our traditional rulers and those ones that are preaching for us. So it is about time we told them to start, after preaching heavily race, bringing down to our relationship on earth. How can you make heaven without relating well with people? Let people not be carrying a weapon.
Okay.
And tell them, don't take life. But for the government, it's a good one. I'll give it to them. And I see Christopher Musa, our elder brother, doing well. But once we start praising him, before you know, they'll put comma for him. That's why I don't praise him, but he's doing well. These few days, we are seeing the sign. Thank you very much, Lord.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Barrister Swat.
Welcome.
Compliment of the season.
Compliments of the season to you.
This is Godwin O. Abu, a good German in Abuja.
Okay.
Yes. On this very issue, hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Not just government designating these groups as terrorists. My question is, what are those punitive measures they are going to take on those who are already apprehended, who are already in the net of the government? What are those punitive measures? And the National Orientation Agency shouldn't just be an agency. We hear and then we don't see what they perform. To carry out this campaign right into the interlands, into our localities, and begin to let or preach what the government has just done now, so that upcoming ones who want to imbibe the culture or to like let's say they are looking at these terrorists as their role models, will begin to desist as hearing it, and then they begin to desist from their ambition of coming or carrying out arms in taking people's lives here and there. And so that is all my contribution this afternoon. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Godwin. All right. This one said, good afternoon. My name is Vandus Nicodemus from Suleja. The government should use NOA to give everyone special orientation on his or her own native language, not just calling them terrorists. And again, anyone caught in the act of terrorism should be given severe punishment, not just rehabilitating the person into the society or giving them presidential pardon. Okay, thank you, Mr. Vandus. Ademola from London said, well, expanding the leads does not change the fact yet. We want to see arrest of individuals having meetings with these terrorists, including those defending them, even in this very government. The NSA should now explain why he's giving assault rifles to so-called Fulani vigilantes in the south and middle belt. So making this big list does not matter until we see workings. So the government should stop cho. We need to see arrests and casualties on the side of the Fulani terrorists causing mayhem in the middle belt. Until this is done and seen to be done, it's all just noise, in my opinion. Okay, thank you, Mr. Ademola. Good afternoon, Madam Swat. How malams that go about carrying daggers, almost all the Babambola and Okada riders should be classified as terrorists. It's not as if they should be. I mean, going by what we've read, that is classified as terrorism. You carrying lethal weapons and using it at any provocation, well, you be treated as terrorists. But like Mr. Ademola said, we need to see doings. We need to see workings, right? Enough of this designation and redesignation. Okay, we applaud the expansion of that because there's so many acts of terrorism that are looked away in the society. It's good that most of them have been captured into this list. Now it is time for decisive action to be taken on the side of those who are considered terrorists in any way or form. Doesn't matter whether they have the coverings or backings of whoever it is in society. As long as you're caught with a weapon and you are not licensed, you're not authorized by the state to carry that weapon, then you should be in deep soup. You should face the consequence of terrorism, right? That's what it implies. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Please switch off your radio, sir.
Thank you. My name is Oka. I'm calling from Guarepa.
All right.
There are two things I really want to chip in. One is what the white man left us with, this brotherhood culture, whereby you have your relation and you know that he's committing an offense. And you dare not say it. And even if you say it and the person is probably the family or the village, will want to look at you as an enemy to the family. Then secondly, the one is the president designating a lot of those people as terrorists. I don't think it's within his judicial right. But rather he can give a presidential order based on some certain things which immunity covers him to give, for designating a group or people as terrorists. I think there's a procedure by which that is done. It's not just by mere pronouncements.
Yeah, that would be that should be gazetted. When you do that, you gazette that, right?
You know the procedure. You have to go to court now for you to declare. Remember how IPOB was declared terrorist only in Nigeria? They went through court. The Attorney General has to go to court, and the judge will affirm it. It's not just gazetted. Gazetted is just government policies. You take it and then publish it. That's being gazetted. It's not that. You have to go through the normal process. Remember when Buhari was declaring, when he was asked to declare herdsmen terrorists, it was a little bit difficult for him. But finally, he has to do it out of shame. He was so quick in declaring IPOB terrorists. So they have a lot of IPOB has some bad people, actually, who like the Gentoya, who and so on. But the Fulani herdsmen, I don't know if they have declared terrorists today. And,
you know that they are declared terrorists now.
Okay, then what about these, what do you call him, bandits? Have they been declared terrorists?
Oga, I read a comprehensive list. We were not listening, or you've not taken a hold of the list to go through?
No, you read a comprehensive list of what the president has said that is been acceded to as terrorists, like militia groups and so on. But I said, if you declare, for you to declare a group terrorist, there is a process.
Okay, and where does it start from? Where does the process start from?
This process starts from Attorney General of the Federation going to court and then getting a judgment declaring those group terrorists, which before is being gazetted. You don't just come. So we know the groups that have been declared terrorists. I know why I'm saying this. I'm just saying, unless you have some lawyers listening to me.
Thank you.
You are a lawyer too. You know, you are a lawyer too. But
okay. Is that all? Okay. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon. Auntie Baka Swat. Good afternoon.
Welcome. Good afternoon.
My name is Ibrahim. I'm calling you from Airport Road, Abuja.
Okay.
I'm really happy. More than 3 weeks or 2 weeks ago, as your guy Christopher take over about this anything security in Nigeria. May Almighty Allah help him and support him. That's my own contribution for this afternoon.
Okay. Thank you, Ibrahim. Appreciate it. Hello?
Hello, Swakasat.
Yes? You're welcome.
My name is Salasi. I agree with the previous callers and contributors of this great radio station. Yes, I want to appreciate the president for standing on. He has started, the process has started already for the issue of gazetting and taking it to court. If the president decides, in fact, in 1 week, he can do that because everything will be fast-tracked. So in that case, I think something is good and he's declared them. Just like when we talk about the light people and so on and so forth. You know, from the war of this Rwanda, they banned selling of this light weapon openly, this cutlass and so on and so forth. But you see some people carry it and be walking around with it. So in fact, just like what Mrs. Omeza say, in fact, there was this Maiduguri knife that I used to have in my vehicle. My brother say I shouldn't be going out with it now. I said, why? He said, police can use this thing against me. And that is the truth. He said, I should be very careful with that knife. So that knife, permanent, is at home. It's when maybe on Christmas, maybe on 24 now bring out the knife, started butchering, as you know. So these are the things. So I think government should go after even the sponsors, the sympathizers of this bandit. In fact, I was listening to a professor, a whole professor calling bandit, calling terrorists, say freedom fighters. Just imagine, say government hasn't been fair. Has government been fair to me? Have government you that your ethnic group have become president how many times in this country? From Shagari, then Buhari, and let Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. Me, my ethnic group has never even become anything in this country that I have known. You say it's me, they have been cheated. The government haven't been fair to them. Is that what gives them the audacity to carry the weapon? Have government been fair to other people? Other people too, in fact, in my community, in my village that I come, they have never seen, they don't even have light. They don't even have good road. We are down there in one little village there. Have the government been fair to us? So we shouldn't be coming up and be sympathizing with these terrorists and these bandits and so on, because we are from the same side, we are the same religion, and so on and so forth. We have good Fulani, we have bad one, we have good people, and we have bad people everywhere. So government should go after whoever that is terrorizing this country so that this country will be at peace. Now we have a lot of terrorists, designated names of terrorists now in this country. So government shouldn't have mercy on them. There shouldn't be any repentant bandit. Musa, go after them. Shouldn't give them a British service. They should go and repent to God up there. Now go there.
All right. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
You're welcome.
This is Bishop. I'm calling you from Airport Road.
All right, Bishop.
My sister is laughable. The IPOB are terrorists. We are in a country. Why, if you go to other countries, it's only Nigeria that IPOB are terrorists, described as terrorist group.
Okay, please. It's not only terrorists. We have a wide group. Let's not focus on IPOB. Let's not make this thing a tribal thing. Right now, it's a general thing.
I'm still coming,
okay.
My sister. I'm not making it a tribal.
Okay, go ahead.
In all these things you mentioned, Fulani herdsmen, all this one, and later the government will tell us that the bandits are repenting. Does any man see the heart of man to know who is repenting and who is not? All these people that are being mentioned as terrorists, when other people are captured, they treat them like animals. But when other people are captured, it's not they tell us that they have repented. They treat their case very simple. They handle it with care. And the same people are been negotiating, the same terrorists. So my own is my sister. Can these people, everybody that has been called a terrorist in Nigeria by government, be treated as terrorists? And they catch them and kill them? Because anybody who has taken life supposed to die or sentenced to life imprisonment. We are talking of justice in Nigeria, man. We are talking of justice. Treat A the way you are treating B, so that everybody will be happy. Thank you and have a nice day.
All right, thank you so much. Very correct. I mean, if everyone or these people who are being categorized as terrorists by the president right now, I mean, then we should see an equal treatment. Because if you say this person is a terrorist and then this other person is also a terrorist, then you should not treat Mr. A different from Mr. B if they are found to be categorized as same, irrespective of what their act is. So, in this wide categorization now, there are some who operating for tribal, sectarian, or whatever purposes are considered as terrorists, and those who also kidnap civilians, they should all be treated as well, because if you call them all terrorists, then it is the same punishment for terrorism, right? What is the punishment for terrorism? And that's, the emphasis here. Whatever the law demands ought to be meted out equally to some, even though also in some instances you get to see that some receive death, some go for life, depending on how persuasive you're able to present your case and stuff like that. But yes, these are the realities of the times that we live in. Let me take in just this other call quickly before we stop at 12:55 for a commercial. Let's see. Or let me read this message rather. It says, Swat, the latest list of group categorized as terrorists by the federal government indicates a high level of apprehension by government about security in our country. It is not enough to just categorize them. Methods of fighting terrorism in the country matter a lot. The best way to tackle stubborn problems in any society is by fighting such problems from their root causes. So far, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his team have not shown they imbibe this native intelligence that is common among all traditional ethnic nationalities in the country. For years, the federal government has been using kinetic approach in battling terrorism with insignificant success. I can't see the government succeeding in the battle because the battle are not rooted via the root cause of terrorism. Nobody was born a terrorist. Terrorism comes about by interplay of forces within and outside the country that border on economic practices, religious beliefs and ideologies, class struggle and caliber and character of people in government and so on. Okay, let's stop for this commercial. Stay with us.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
This is Nigeria Info.